Good morning, darlings. Okay, so this is the lesson from the 5th of October. Fingers crossed. I think most of you are up to date, actually, so hopefully I'll be able to keep on top of these. So, last lesson we were looking at those 7 big questions, and we were debating class and all of that stuff. So we're going to further go into some analysis here. And so class is the title, and the keywords for this lesson are prejudice and bias. And we've got the ending of the play here. Let me just stretch this out a bit because it looks a bit tiny. There we go. Right, so it says, the narrator says, and do we blame superstition for what has come to pass, or could it be what we, the English, have come to know as class? Did you ever hear the story of the Johnston Twins, as like each other as 2 new pins? How one was kept and one given away, how they were born and they died on the self same day. Now, this is said at the end of the play, and I want you to hypothesize how the audience might have viewed the play differently if this was said at the beginning, and to debate why Russell included it only at the end of the play. Now, debating is an intellectual skill. I'm sure I've told you this before, but we're going to go over it again. It requires someone to see and understand both sides of an argument, select which side they agree with the most, be able to disagree respectfully with the opposing side, and offer logical, rational reasons for doing so. It is a skill required in most jobs, but certainly in professional careers. You'll develop this skill through school, 8 levels, and at university if you go. You can also develop it in mature conversation with others. That means not shouting and bawling, scratching each other's eyes out, and pulling out handfuls of hair. It also helps to develop empathy and logical thinking, and it's a great thing to be able to use. So why then? Why has he only used this rhyming couplet at the end of the play? Why didn't he use it at the beginning? So we talked about this in class a bit today, and I'd said to the pupils, guys, if I said we're going to read this play and it's all about class, what is the only thing we would have seen? Class. We would have been prejudiced against the play, we would have been prejudging, and we would have only seen class, and we would have been biased. We would have been looking solely for class. So this is why perhaps that Russell chose not to include this rhyming couplet at the beginning. So go ahead and write an explanatory paragraph in your book explaining why Russell chose to structure his play in this way. Okay, this is that structure stuff again, the cyclical nature. Why did we start here instead of here? Okay, go ahead and write a paragraph about it. Make sure that it is formal language, make sure that it is as detailed as possible. Quote, please. Because if you can do that, there's a fair chance that you'll be able to then remember that you've done it for your exam, because this is something interesting that I'm sure you'll be able to utilize, or something similar. Okay, when you've done that, you may unpause. So go ahead and pause the video and do that, and then come back and we'll carry on. Okay, I'm going to assume that you've done that. So now what we need to do is analyze the narrator's lines here. The narrator's lines here. I can't talk today. I don't know what's wrong with me. No, I do not want suggestions, thank you. Analyze the narrator's lines here. What methods have been used and what are their effects? Annotate your play, and you can even then write this up, okay? So in the class, we said that this was a rhetorical question, as was this. Diefenbaker so totally agrees. Did you hear that? He so totally agrees it's a rhetorical question. And we also said that this simile here, Diefenbaker is so impressed as a simile, as like each other as 2 new pins, meant that the babies were similar to begin with, but not alike when they were older. Because if you remember when Mrs. Lyons found the locket and looked inside it and said, when were you taken with this woman? Edward's reaction was, but I never looked a thing like Mickey. I didn't look anything like him. And in the That Guy song, when they're comparing each other, they've got one's got mousy hair, one's the colour of gravy, and they look different, you know. So this raises the question of nature versus nurture. How much Diefenbaker is very interested in this. I'm sure you can hear how interested he is. So are they how they look because of their DNA, of their genes, or is it because of a result of their environment? Diefenbaker's got a very strong opinion. I'm sure you can hear him. I'm really sorry that he won't shut the hell up. Anyway, he's looking at me like no, like I just killed his hamster. Nature versus nurture is something that we're going to be looking at in the play. So we need to recognise that here, because this is at the beginning as well, this is something that we may have been asked to consider all the way through. Now, is that bias and prejudice? Perhaps not, on account of the fact that it's asking you to consider it rather than stating it more outright, like up here with the class. We've also said that when we were in the lesson today, that pass and class, or pass and class, depending on if you're posh or not, and twins and pins rhyme. And it sounds like a nursery rhyme that you might tell to a child. Away and day also rhyme. A bit like, a nursery rhyme does. It might be something that you pass on, a story, a legend, a myth. Okay, so what you need to do then is you need to annotate your copies of the play and then go ahead and write this up, please. Do a couple of paragraphs maybe. Somebody did an entire page on this because they got so much to say today. Go ahead and do that. And did we get any further? No, we didn't. Okay, so that's it. And then fingers crossed you should be all up to date. Like and subscribe. Jokes, obs. If you need any help, you know where I am, at Miss Hine English on Twitter, or you can email me. You take care, and I will hopefully see you in lessons very soon. Bye.